Among some of the recent deaths of some famous people, I think some people might have the idea that heaven may look like this. This is what I'm going to be talking about in this video. So I know a lot of us have heard, if you watch any news, that there has been some famous people out there that have recently passed away. First, I want to say that the important person to me has recently passed away, and that is my father-in-law. And I feel comforted, and I know my wife feels comforted, and his wife feels comforted, because we know where he's at. We know that he was a believer, that he was saved, and we know that he's with Yeshua. So I believe we all find comfort in that. But now, some of the famous people I heard that passed away was Ozzy Osbourne. And I've never really listened to his music growing up, but I do know some people that did. And another one I heard was Hulk Hogan. I never watched wrestling, but I was first introduced to me by the movie of Rocky. I think maybe it was Rocky 2, Rocky 3. And the third one was it Mark Mangione or Mangione? His last name is Mangione. And I forgot who he was, but I recognized the name so well. I looked him up on YouTube. I knew he was a musician, but I believe he played the cornet, and he had some popular music that way. So those three that are well-known people I know have passed away. And there was one other one, I believe, but somebody had posted it on Facebook, and I didn't recognize who it was, and it was the only post that I seen, so I don't even remember what the name was. But I noticed that some Christians will post about this, and I guess that's fine. I mean, I don't know why you, being a called out believer, would post something that somebody sung of the world. And sometimes it was things that weren't so good. It was kind of dark and evil. But there's been also some other things, like the picture that I showed at the beginning of this video. That's not how heaven's going to be. Nobody's going to be giving that hand sign of the horns of the devil or hang loose, whatever that is supposed to mean in heaven. Nobody's going to be doing that, and you're not going to go back to living the way you were. Here's another one for an example. Together Again. This is Ozzy Osbourne, and it must have been one of his guitar players that passed away earlier, I'm assuming. So I don't know who that would have been, but they're not going to be in heaven singing some of the music that he sung here on earth. I mean, if you're going to be singing, the angels are singing about God. Those seraphims are saying, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts, and the whole world is filled with His glory." And so things are not going to resume in heaven as they were here on earth. People aren't going to get together and party and do the things that they did on earth. And you're just not going to be there. I think a lot of people that post these things, I mean, I hope that here's another one. There's Hulk Hogan, and there's Rowdy Piper, and the Macho Man, was it Randy Savage? So, like I said, I didn't really watch it. I've seen him before on TV. But out of these groups that passed away, my opinion, and I don't know what state Ozzy Osbourne was in. Maybe he was saved before he passed away. I heard before, I was reading an article, because I wanted to be able to say for this video, but I think that he said that he was a Christian, and but then he went right back into doing the things he does on stage. Now, some people might think, well, that's for entertainment, but it doesn't matter. If you say you're a Christian and you're going there doing, and I don't know exactly what all he did, but I'm sure the lyrics or whatever, you go doing things of the world like that, that doesn't make it okay. And, we are supposed to be different. We don't take ourselves here on earth and take the same attitudes, the same thoughts, that if you don't put God first in your life, you're not going to be in heaven, because you have to be changed on the inside. You have to be born again. In John 3:3, Yeshua, Jesus, told Nicodemus, he says, unless you are born again, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. So we have to be born again, and the only way that we can be born again is to put ourselves behind and put God first in our lives and trust in God through Jesus. That is the only way that we can be born again. And Jesus has to be in front of ourselves and in front of family, in front of things that we love. And he has to be first, because he is not going to take somebody who has never come to trust in Yeshua, and when you pass away, you're going to take that with you. If that's the case, then you would be taking different problems with you, and you would be taking that worldly attitude. You have to have a spirit change. You have to have the Holy Spirit living in you, and you have to have a spirit change in your heart. That doesn't make anyone who's born again perfect, but we know that we serve the creator of the universe, the God of Israel, through Jesus Christ, Yeshua the Messiah, and that's how we're able to do that. Because you're not going to be going up there playing a guitar with your old band member. You're not going to be doing that. It's all about Yeshua. It's all about Jesus. And if anything, we're going to be up there with him. And I think we'll see family, but we should ask ourselves this question: what is important to you when you pass away? Who do you want to see the most? So if you say you want to see your spouse or your loved ones or something like that, you need to reevaluate yourself, because the person that I want to see the most is Yeshua. And I want to be able for him to embrace me and embrace me into his kingdom. That is the most important thing for me. That's what I'm most excited about, is to be able to see him, and family comes later. So, is Ozzy Osbourne saved? I don't know. I think Hulk Hogan, he said he was a Christian. I think he probably is. He probably made it for sure. I don't know about Ozzy and Mangione. I'm sorry. I knew his name, and all of a sudden I forget it. I don't know about him either. I haven't heard any news about him. He played. I don't think he's had any latest music lately that I've seen. So, but it's just important to be born again. And if you haven't been born again, you're not prepared. God's not gonna let you in, because you have to have a change of heart to be in a heavenly place with God. You're not gonna take your guitar with you, and you're not gonna play the same music, secular music that you played, that talks about hell or talks about, you know what I mean? I mean, all kinds of things of the world, things that are okay of the world. He wants you to be holy. And when we become born again, we start to listen to music that is holy, better music. And that's what I play on this channel, is Messianic Jewish music, Messianic music, because a lot of it is scriptural, and it's just all about God. That's what it's about, all about God. So there's no hand signaling the hang loose or the devil's pitchforks that you're going to be doing up there. So you're either going to be born again or you're not. And unfortunately, most people are not going to set themselves aside, and they're not going to be able they're not going to want to put Jesus first in their life. And until they do that, they will not be in heaven for eternity. And everybody's going to believe. Someday, everybody will believe, but for some, it'll be too late. So if you haven't committed your life over to God through Yeshua, Jesus, what are you waiting for? It's probably time. So I hope you like this video. I hope you like and subscribe if you haven't. And until the next video, may God bless you and keep you.